for parents listening today, or whenever they will see the recording, what's one conversation they should have with their children this week?
I think that they should ask their children how their children see their own tech use as mom and dad. So, how do you see me using technology? What do you observe? Does anything annoy you from what I do? Because I think you need to flip it rather than be the adult that's like, you're doing this, you're doing this. You ask them, what am I doing? What are you seeing? And how should our family change? Because I think that we need to give kids more credit for what they're noticing that we do. And I'll just give an example. I was visiting this family member who had three small children at the time. And um, one of the little girls said, Mommy's always on her phone.
Ah, that,
Mommy always forgets something because mommy's always in her phone and then has to go back in. Mommy ignores me because mommy's always on her phone and daddy's always reading emails. Daddy never has time for me. And when I hear that, my heart breaks a little bit. And I know
definitely.
that no parent wants to hear that. But if you want to really, really teach your children how to deal with technology, you need to take a look at your own behavior. And your child is a mirror. If you ask them, hey, what are you noticing? What do I do on my phone? And you just say, what do I do on my phone? And they're like, you're always on Instagram. Trust me, they'll
Ah,
know. Even if a 6-year-old is going to know what Instagram is and mommy's always on Instagram or mommy's always on Pinterest. And if they're noticing that, you have something as a parent that you might need to change. I'm not saying you can't go on your things, but maybe you choose a different moment. Maybe you have a little self-control and you look at your own behaviors. And I know that some parents are not super keen on me saying this, but it is the truth. And if you to ask me what is the one thing that's going to change your relationship with your child, it is being dead honest about how, as a family, we
yeah.
need to be less on technology. Not children need to be less on technology. We need to be less on
Right.
technology.
Right. You have put it very aptly. One more thing for educators, what's one thing they can do tomorrow to foster digital citizenship in their classrooms?
Well, I would start with the teachers as well, that they need to get their own use under control, because how can you teach it if you're feeling guilty about the way you yourself use it? So you need to examine your own behavior. And I would start, like, let's say it's summer holidays right now, I'm on vacation this summer. How do I use technology? Am I on any social media too much? Do I lose myself in it too much? And then look at my students after that and look how they are using it in the school, how they're using different things, and try to integrate conversations about technology across all subject matters, but just ever so slightly. You can
Right.
integrate it so well into history. You can integrate it because the news, how do we consume the news right now? We're consuming it digitally. How was it consumed a long time ago? How does that change things? Who has control of it? Bam, you've taught something about digital technology. When we're reading a novel, even if it's an old classic novel and we're talking about it, how would that change today with technology?
Right.
Do you still have the same dynamic? How do people communicate in relationships? If, for example, there's a love story, bam, you've brought it back in. How do we need to step that back? So there are so many small ways that every teacher, depending on what subject matter they're teaching or what age, and for elementary school parents or teachers, sorry, nudging the parents, giving the kids the words to demand these analog activities, to normalize analog activities. And I personally don't think you should use screens in the classroom
Yeah. Yeah.
in elementary school. They need to be skipping, jumping,
Correct.
drawing, writing, doing basic arithmetics,
Right.
and we need
Right.
to push
Right.
that.
Right. And many countries, they are using this. Matlab, the number of periods are very less, and after every period there is a bit of breakfast and activity, outdoor activity, and in a day they have maximum 3 periods of work. So, in many countries, the growth of children and their relationship with outdoor activities, they're getting into actual life, learning skills than just ramming knowledge or thousands of words. Instead of that, they are putting more. They are highlighting the fun of outdoor activities. Finally,
I
what do you hope? Sorry, yeah,
No,
please
I
speak.
just wanted to say, I think that one of the problems that schools are having, and if you're a parent listening to this, I really want you to hear this, is the schools have parents wanting academic excellence to get in top universities.
Yeah,
And what we know students need is learning to be outdoors, learning skills,
yeah,
learning crafts, learning how to communicate. And a lot of parents see that as too soft and
yeah.
don't like it and want to remove actually even digital citizenship. I can't even tell you how many times schools tell me they don't have time for me. They don't have time to put this into the program. There's just no time in the day for this because they have all these other things that they want to do.
Correct.
And I keep on saying, no, but you have to integrate it into different things. And I get incredibly frustrated when I hear this, but it's also the parents that need to hear if you are only pushing academic
Yes,
excellence.
yes, yes, yes. Very, and that too at a very early age,
Yes,
when it's not required.
correct.
Certainly. Finally, what do you hope children take away from every Oscar and Zoe story?
I think that probably one of the most important things I want them to take away is that they need to talk about what they're experiencing online with other people, that they don't need to sit with it alone. I think that, if you talk about trauma, and a lot of people talk about trauma right now, that they experience trauma also online. When you, for example, see something horrible in the real world, it's very normal to go home and talk about it. And when you
Yeah.
see it online, the children are scared to tell mom and dad or scared to tell their teachers because they don't want the device taken away from them.
Yeah.
And I would like to normalize if we see something that makes us scared, if we see something that makes us uncomfortable, if we see something that confuses us, that
Hmm.
this is the moment that you need to talk to your parents, to your grandparents, to your school teachers about it.
Right, right. Very true. And finally, if Oscar and Zoe could write a letter to every parent in the world, what do you think it would say?
Hey, mom and dads out there, would you please put your phone down and take us out to play?
It's I would say that your child has spoken now. You see, your very child has spoken now, and
Yeah, definitely.
and it holds true for everyone, I believe. Alison, thank you for joining us today and for sharing your remarkable journey and your heartfelt commitment to helping children grow into responsible, compassionate, and confident individuals. To our listeners around the world, remember every story you share has a potential to shape a mind and nurture a caring heart. Alison, we wish you every success. May Oscar and Zoe continue to inspire generations of young readers to navigate the digital world with wisdom, kindness, integrity, and courage. This is your host, Atul signing off. Keep learning, keep shining, keep
I
listening,
actually
keep
have one more
inspiring.
thing I want to say. I want one more thing I want to say, if you
Sure,
don't
sure,
mind.
sure,
I
please.
am starting a podcast, actually a series of podcasts this fall. And I want people to know that the podcast for parents is called Don't Tell My Parents, because that's literally what every kid tells me before they tell me they've done something wrong online. It's like, don't tell my parents.
Okay,
And
yeah.
there's one called Dear Teen and Dear Tweens. You can already find them on Apple and Spotify and sign up. They're starting beginning of September, and they will help educators in the classroom, but they will also help parents to have these conversations with their children that are a little bit older than the Oscar and Zoe age. So thank you for having me, and I hope that many people will find your podcast, but also mine.
No, no, definitely, definitely. And I wish you success for your endeavor, this new endeavor, and I'm sure that's gonna click, that's gonna work with everyone, and parents will definitely welcome that. And these things are very much required nowadays. Okay, thanks again, Alison.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
wish you every success. This is your host Atul Verma signing off. Keep learning, keep listening, keep inspiring, and together let's build a wiser, kinder, and more compassionate world. One conversation and one story at a time. Thank you. Take care, and see you in our next episode. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye, Alison.